Welcome, everybody, to Who's Your Band? I am Jeffrey Paul. I am joined by my co-host, Sean Morton. How are you, Sean?
You know, I was good, Jeffrey, until I had an epiphany that my podcast co-host and one of my dearest friends is a giant piece of shit. And I'll explain why. See, I did this, right? And first thing he says is, "Hey, cancer boy. Hey, cancer boy." So then I had to make him feel like dog shit when I explained to him that my little cousin, who's 16 years old, had to have emergency head surgery and was feeling really bad about himself that he had to have a scar and a bald head. So me being the utmost amazing fucking human being you can imagine, decided I'm not letting this soldier go down by himself. So I went and shaved my hair off too to make him feel better.
He got so turned off, he just left. Now he ain't back.
So that's why Jeff is, is who he is. And I'm the nice one. I'm the funny one. And then there's Jeff. So
let's introduce our
guest. Our guest is a great dude. I love him. I've worked with him a couple times, and a lot of times I don't like music acts, but I do in this case. So Jeffrey, take it over.
I like a good music act, especially in the middle of a show, because it kind of breaks things up. Even at the end, I mean, especially, I just really think it's very. I've seen guys like, at the very least, if they're good singers and good players, it's entertaining. But our guest is not only a good player, and he's also a funny dude.
Right.
I've worked with him a couple of times, and every time he's just always killed.
And I guess he wouldn't make jokes about a bald head either.
He's a little bit more sensitive
now.
But if you would have seen him, it really looked like he just got out of chemo. And I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just saying that's what it looked like. But our guest, he's a singer, he's a guitar player, but foremost, he's also a very funny comedian. We're very happy to have him on the show. Tim Grill. How are you, Tim?
What's going on? How you doing, guys?
We are wonderful.
He has a couple of cool guitars in the background.
Yeah, I got Eddie Van Halen's replica Frankenstrat, and I just got this Christmas. This is Randy Rhoads Polka Dot V.
Very nice. Would you like to see my very first guitar that I ever got? I was 13 years old, and I'm doing some work on it. This is my actual first guitar.
That's pretty cool.
It's beat to shit. I have to change the pickups on it, but it's got what every 13, 14-year-old would do is sticker their old guitar.
Yeah, it's not the guitar I got when I was 16, my main guitar, and it is. I mean, I struck gold with this thing. My parents got it for me. My dad was sick. They didn't have a lot of money, but they put together some money. They bought me this Ibanez Roadstar guitar in 1986, and I still have it, and it's like my number one. And I've had big offers for it, but I got, since my parents got it for me, I'll never sell it. Yeah. But what you just said, when I was like 16, I started painting it. And I just got this phase where I was just like, like Eddie or Randy, I wanted like original designs. Well, I totally regretted it.
Yeah.
And then a couple years ago, I had it refurbished back to its
nice
look. So it looks like the day I got it, which is great. But
even my old guitar player has had dozens and dozens of guitars, and for some reason, the best sounding guitar he ever got was a cheap $200 Les Paul knockoff from China.
Yeah.
And it has the best action of any of his guitars, and he's got like 24 of them. It's so weird. I
played guitars. I was down in Grun's Guitars down in Nashville, and I played a guitar that was more than my house.
Yeah, I've played some Paul Reed Smiths that were $10,000, $15,000 a piece.
Yeah,
you don't even want to touch them.
I played one that was like $200,000. I asked the guy's like, "Yeah, you can play it." I was like, "You sure?"
No.
But I tell you what, man, it was nothing different. It was no different than anything I had at home.
It's weird, right?
Yeah, it's just
it's all individual.
Yep.
But that leads us to what our topic is tonight, and one of the reasons why I asked him to join us on the show tonight. So tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to count down our 5 top, and we can go a little bit off, so we can put a couple of honorable mentions. But we're going to do our 5 top guitar solos, guitar leads that we like. Okay, so we'll kick things off with Tim. What would you say? You have to pick What are you going with? It doesn't have to be in any particular order.
Does this have to be the solo in a song, or can it be a solo that was like just a solo? And there's a reason for that question.
See, the reason, I was confused about this topic. 3 times I asked Jeff. So he's telling me leads. Now, when I hear a lead, I think of something different. I think of the main hook. Like, I think of it as the main riff, the main everything. I'm not thinking of it as the solo.
Right.
So I kind of went with like my favorite guitar line driven songs. Like when you hear the riff, you absolutely know what song it is immediately.
Right. I kind of went with guitar solos. I thought he meant like a lead, like because
that's fine. I can adjust. See, this is the thing, Tim. Not only being a musician, I'm also a great comic and a great actor, so I can also improvise on the fly too. So I will shift gears and go along with you guys.
Called a professional right there.
I'm telling you.
So that's what I did. So I when you said leads, because when I was in a band, we would say like, who wants to play the lead? That was the solo, right? So. Do you want me to go first?
Sure.
All
right.
Yeah.
I'll talk about the one that got me to pick up the guitar, and that was Eruption from Eddie Van Halen. That solo, for several reasons. One, it got me to pick up the guitar. I remember it vividly. I remember laying in my brother's bed, and I played Van Halen, Running with the Devil came on. I thought, this is pretty cool. And then Eruption came on. I remember I sat up, and I just thought, what is this guy doing? And I was in guitar lessons the next week. That's how much of an impact, and I never looked back. So Eddie's always been, even though I can't play like him, I can't play anything like him. He's always been my favorite. But the other reason too is because that guitar solo changed music overnight. Like when that solo came out, it changed rock and roll like overnight.
It basically introduced tapping.
Yeah, it introduced tapping, and it introduced kind of started. I don't want to say the hair metal genre, but it started that kind of music where it was like, a lot of tapping, a lot of guitar driven.
You think Van Halen's hair metal?
Yeah, I guess you could say it almost started the hair metal, because Randy Rhoads was like a little bit behind him. So Eddie was the first guy to kind of break out. And once Van Halen 1 came out in 78, all of a sudden everybody started painting their guitars and tapping and doing all the stuff that Eddie was doing. So it kind of like broke ground,
I remember I saw Van Halen in 79. Wow. They were touring as support for Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
The only song I knew going in was You Really Got Me, the Kinks cover.
Mm-hmm.
But when it came time for them to do Eruption, I mean, it was like watching like the headliner. It was nothing like you've ever seen. I've never really seen a support act. Basically, they weren't unknown, but they certainly weren't Sabbath. Sabbath at that point, it was their last real tour with Ozzy, and they were a descending band, while Van Halen was clearly, an ascending band. Yeah. And it was nothing like you've ever seen.
They blew them off the stage like every night. But they were, like you said, they were up. And Ozzy's time with Sabbath was coming to an end. Those guys were all they hated each other.
Well, Ozzy had his issues over there. Okay, so you're going with Eruption, and that's a classic choice. What were you going to say, Sean? What would you go with?
So I went with, I think the first guitarist that blew me away too was Slash from Guns N' Roses. So I went different. Everybody's going to think, oh, Sweet Child of Mine, Welcome to the Jungle. I went with Locomotive by Guns N' Roses, which is on the Illusion 2 record. And
wow, interesting choice.
Yeah, that is, to me, there's certain songs that are iconic. Like, everybody knows Sweet Child of Mine, Paradise City, all that shit. Guns N' Roses, to me, their greatest song, and that epitomizes them, is Out to Get Me. I think that's the basis of that band and how they.
What song was it? You broke up a little bit.
I said my favorite song that I think is the song that identifies them as a band is not like Sweet Child or Welcome to the Jungle. It's Out to Get Me.
Do you think Out to Get Me is their identifiable song?
I think that's the song that shows them who they really were at that point. Like that hungry, angry, driven shit. But I think they went totally different on the next 2 records. And Locomotive, to me, I think is his best guitar song that he's ever recorded. And it's so brutally it's so complicated and fast. And I think I mentioned this once on the show before too, but there was an interview. They were playing somewhere in England, and they invited Jeff Beck on stage to play with them, and he wanted to play Locomotive, and Jeff had to turn them down. He could not learn the part. He said it was so freaking hard that he did not know how to play it.
I played drums in a band for like 5 years. I played drums too, and Locomotive was one of the songs, and it was exhausting, that song.
Mm-hmm. It really is. It's one of those like over drawn out Guns N' Roses Illusion songs, but you want to. I always say if you want me to describe Slash in one song, that's the song I describe him to.
I am shocked. I mean, first of all, I love that you went like deep cut. That, you know, there was a million other songs you could probably pick off of the two records, and that's what you picked. When you started this and where you were setting it up, I thought you were going to go with November Rain.
No, I don't.
Which is
listen.
It's not only one lead; it's three different leads, three different parts.
November Rain is a classic song, but it doesn't hold a candle to Estranged.
Well, I think Coma.
I think Estranged is amazing. It's probably the most difficult song that they ever
And yeah, Tim, fucking Coma is another just an absolute master, an 11-minute masterpiece.
Yeah, and Estranged. Those two were my favorite of those records. Coma and Estranged were absolutely just unbelievable.
That melody in Estranged is just so haunting and beautiful that I got turned on to that song a little bit late. I like the trio of songs with the videos that accompany them. Estranged, Don't Cry, and November Rain. I think those three packaged together. I don't know if there's any other songs that really complement each other like those three.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would definitely agree.
I'm going to go back to 1970, and I'm going to go Chicago 25 or 624. I love the lead in that. Jimi Hendrix, who he absolutely was a massive fan of Terry Kath, who was the original guitar player of Chicago. And he actually thought that Terry Kath was better than him. Yep. And, in some regard, he probably was right. I mean, Terry Kath could play everything besides rock. He was a great jazz guitarist. But the use of, in that lead, that wah-wah pedal, it was like something that no one had really ever heard. It breaks up the song perfectly. And so for me, I'm going to say like my number 5 pick is going to be 25 or 624 Chicago. I'll also get things going with the number 4 pick. And then, like I said, we'll snake it around here. I'm going to go with a guy who, like, when we talk about guitar players, and everyone kind of like get Rolling Stone and Blabbermouth and all the different type of publications, never put this guy in the top 10. And I think it's criminal. I love Dire Straits.
Oh, Mark.
And I think, Mark Knopfler, to me, is just insane. Now, my favorite song is probably Lady Writer, but my favorite guitar solo lead is Sultans of Swing. And the interesting thing, and you guys would know because you both play guitar, he plays it without a pick.
Yeah.
No pick. It's all finger. It's all his fingers. The lead is fast. It's cascading. And on the original, when he first recorded, because there are several recordings of it, it was an 11-minute guitar lead, which you can hear the way it was intended to be recorded on Dire Straits' Live Alchemy album. But it is great. And also, if you want to really catch a beautiful piece of music, there's maybe about a 12, 13-minute version of the song. Trust me, it goes by so quick. It's Knopfler joined by Eric Clapton. And they're playing at the Nelson Mandela concert in 1988. And the two are trading licks. And then Clapton basically just gives up. And he's just looking at Knopfler in awe. It's just something to behold, man. It is just so gorgeous. It's great.
I just wrote a post on Facebook a couple weeks ago about and it was just a random thing about my 5 underrated, great guitar players. You could do a show on that. Just some of the guys that are missed. The Rolling Stones magazine, they'll have Taylor Swift in the top 10, which I'm not. I mean, look, she writes her own songs. That's cool. I respect that.
Wait, hold on a second. That's something we could talk about at another time, though. But right. Does she really write her own songs?
Yeah.
Because she gets writing credit. but she doesn't really write the majority of her songs. The guy who from I think the band Fun writes a lot of those songs. And she'll add to it. I'm not saying she doesn't contribute, but she's not the main songwriter.
Yeah, she's got collaborators and everything like that.
100%.
Yeah.
At this point, yeah. But
so that's what
the majority of her. What?
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago we went over the Rolling Stone over the New York Times list of the 30 greatest American living songwriters, and Taylor Swift was on it. And I really took exception to it because I don't think how can you put her on the list but leave off Billy Joel?
Yeah.
To me, that's mind blowing.
Yeah, but those lists are ridiculous. But if you also look at it from another angle, this girl has single-handedly probably started a whole new generation of songwriters. She's going to have a whole new generation of female songwriters because of her.
I read an article.
See, I think
that. They said
I'm sorry, but she's popular. But if you're going to talk about female songwriters who are contemporary, I would go more with someone like a Brandi Carlile over Taylor Swift as a songwriter.
Well,
not selling records.
I love Brandi Carlile. I will agree with that. But when you are mainstream and you also have the bonus of writing your own stuff and being a role model for millions and millions of girls, I think it's a great thing because they are just going to carry on a generation of actually writing music instead of sitting on a fucking couch with an iPad in front of them.
Yeah, I read an article that they said Taylor Swift had almost saved the guitar industry, but in the late 2010s, because all these girls were starting to buy guitars, and it saved the industry, But at the same time, like if you see a guitar list, all right, look, I got nothing against Kurt Cobain. When he's on like a top 10 guitar list, it's like, what are we saying? Like how good he is, or a good songwriter? Like what's the criteria? Because
I'm going to say neither.
He wasn't a great guitar player. He was okay.
No, not even close.
I remember that list, Tim. He was number 11, and Eddie Van Halen was 70.
Yeah, crazy.
They put Kurt Cobain over Keith Richards.
Yeah.
Now I get
nothing.
Music.
I mean,
I get
him. You're a guitar guy. How can you put Kurt Cobain over someone like Alan Holdsworth?
Well, it depends. So here's the thing. What's the criteria? Is it because he started a genre of music? Because Nirvana did really change music again overnight, just like Eddie did, right? They were like the grunge guys. They started it all.
They were the first breakout.
Right.
They were the first breakout. But also, I mean, would you say Pearl Jam is as on even footing as Nirvana?
In what level, though? Like songwriting or?
Yeah. Okay, let's go with songwriting.
Songwriting, Pearl Jam blows them out of the water.
Yeah. Pearl Jam's great.
Then how can you put Kurt Cobain in top 20 in songwriting? And Eddie Vedder, Mike McCready never get this type of mention.
I know. And I think Alice in Chains were the best out of all, like those 5.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. Alice in Chains.
And the only one not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, by the way.
I know. And they never get mentioned in any list. Jerry Cantrell doesn't get mentioned in any list.
Which is a shame because he is just an unbelievable guitar player.
Fantastic. He's unbelievable.
Sure. We were arguing or talking a couple of weeks ago how we never talk music on the show as much anymore. And that now we're really doing. This is great. Go to your number 4.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Okay. Little inspired by a concert that I went to or a show that I went to a couple weeks ago. I saw my best friend's boyfriend playing in a Pink Floyd tribute band, and they were phenomenal. Pink Floyd NYC. Check them out. They're really good. I went with Comfortably Numb by Pink Floyd with David Gilmour solo.
Yeah, pretty classic.
I mean, it's textbook. It's on lists, but he does not get anywhere near the credit that he deserves as a guitar player.
100. Listen, I think there's almost no debate on it because we can just pick out example after example. But he's top 10, if not top 5, all-time amazing guitar players. When it comes to Pink Floyd, I mean, Comfortably Numb is iconic. It's classic. You can't go wrong with that. I think a song like, I don't know if you're familiar with High Hopes off of the Division Bell. It, to me, is probably one of the most, it's my favorite guitar solo of all time. It's played on a lap steel guitar. So it's like kind of like he's sitting down playing it. And what it does, it has that, it sounds like it's like sliding. It has like that
He's
slide.
playing a slide guitar, Jeff.
Yeah, but it's down. It's almost like you would see what country artists would play.
It's a laugh
because it gives that weeping, emotional sound to it. And it's about a 4-minute lead. And if you go on YouTube, you could just watch the lead. Freaking gorgeous. It's absolutely off the charts amazing. But Comfortably Numb is generally considered the Pink Floyd guitar lead.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. All right, Tim, we got you for 2. Give us 2 picks.
All right, so I was going to go with my next guy here, Randy Rhoads.
Can't go wrong with that.
I could go with Crazy Train because everybody knows it and it's so iconic. It's in like commercials now. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But if I want to get like real technical as a guitar player, I'd say like Revelation Mother Earth from Randy Rhoads is like just it's just out of this world, that guitar solo.
Do you like that over Mr. Crowley guitar solo?
Oh man, that's a good question. That's a good question.
Because Ozzy, when they recorded it, and Ozzy heard it the first time, he literally, the story goes, he literally ran over to Randy Rhoads, picked him up and hugged him, and knew it was a masterpiece.
Oh.
I mean, everyone does go Crazy Train. I mean, I like Revelation Mother Earth, but if you had to pick between the two, what are you going with?
I guess I go Crowley. It's just Revelation. Now, to believe me, this was a hard pick because I also love Diary of a Madman, the solo in that. There's a lot of them that you could go with, but Revelation Mother, I don't know. It just fires me up, man. He's got that classical, that neoclassical feel. He's all over the place on it. It's such a great solo.
Agreed. All right, you got another one.
Oh, I got another.
This will be you'll be number 3.
All right, so I'm going to go with an outro. I'm going to go with Hotel California by the Eagles.
Okay.
Oh my God, just an incredible
of course.
outro. Joe Walsh and Don Felder, man, just that gives me the chills to this day. And that is something that will last. That'll be like classical music. That'll last 100 years. People will be listening to it. Agreed.
I just saw Felder a couple of weeks ago. He opened up for the Guess Who. Interesting thing about that Hotel California. First of all, pretty much that whole album musically is written by Don Felder, and the demo that he sent to the band, he sent to Henley. That was what Henley actually wanted. So on the demo, Felder is playing both parts, and he basically had it because remember Walsh was kind of like new to the band when that album comes out, so he's teaching him how to do it. That is really a Don Felder lead. It's I just like I said, saw it maybe 2 weeks ago. Phenomenal player, man. He's just so good.
Yeah, I read Felder's book, and Felder's book is incredible. It's a great read.
It is.
If you get a chance to read it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it's great. I'm a huge Eagles fan, and I love Don Felder. I love that he was Tom Petty's guitar teacher.
Yeah, and those two nitwits of they get it wrong, man, when it comes to writing credits.
They're animals. They fucked him over. Victim of Love. That's the song that changed the band.
Yeah,
they really did him dirty. And he played it the other night. I saw him, and I've seen Felder a bunch of times. Anytime I get a chance, I do try and catch the guy because he's so good. But he sings it fine. I mean, Henley is a great singer.
Yeah,
but there was a way of handling. Sean, do you know the story of this? So what happens is Felder writes "Victim of Love," loves the song, and he should be singing one song per album, right, Tim?
Yeah.
Okay. So what happens is they record the song, and he's like, okay, that's the song that's going to be recorded on. He loves the song. It's a great song. Eagles manager takes Felder out to dinner, and when they're out to dinner, Henley goes back into the recording studio and re-records the lyrics, the vocal.
Okay.
When they get back, tells them what's up and says, let me play both versions to you. Here's my version. Here's your version. What's better? And everyone went with Henley's version. That's not the point. The point was Felder's version wasn't bad, but Henley was always such a control freak, and just such a perfectionist, and just couldn't let him have this thing here.
And at one point, didn't they take him off the writing credit of Hotel California? Like, he wrote it.
They did. I think you're right. I think they did.
He sued.
And he did. Well, he sued him over a couple of things.
Yeah.
I understand Henley and Fry's, and when they took time off, they kept the Eagles brand going. And Felder is kind of like an old school hippie. Hey, there are 5 of us. We should split the money equally.
5.
And especially Fry was a business guy.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, it was Don and I who put it together, and we're the ones that kept the name alive, and we deserve the lion's share of this. And Timothy B. Schmidt was just like, hey, I'm happy to have the gig.
So was Walsh. Walsh was just like,
yeah, right.
I don't care.
That's another band I wish I had seen. I never saw them live.
Neither have I. I never saw them.
I've seen them with the original band intact. Okay. And then I saw them, I worked it actually. And then I just saw a couple of years ago, they came around again, and Fry's son is in the band, Deacon, and Vince Gill is in the band.
He's a phenomenal guitar player.
Yeah. And they're good. They still sound great. It's a great, it was one of the best shows I've seen, because opening act was Steely Dan.
Yeah, doesn't Vince Gill play guitar for them now too?
Vince Gill's in the band, yeah.
Yeah.
He's not the lead guitarist, though.
No. I didn't know if he joined it full time or not.
No, he's full time.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's full time, and he's like a key member. Yeah. But the only guys from like the classic lineup that are still in the band are Don Henley, Timothy B. Schmidt, and Joe Walsh.
And Joe Walsh.
Right. All right, good. So what's your next one?
Who, me?
Yes.
Okay. So my next one, even though not my favorite band by any means, I really am not a huge fan of this band. I like a lot of the hits, but that's about it. This song, though, I feel was one of the best metal songs of the 80s. And I went with Tornado Souls by Megadeth.
Oh, wow. You lost me now.
I lost you?
Yeah.
Never heard it?
I'm not a huge Megadeth. I told you, I have a problem with Dave Mustaine and it's me again.
Well, this is before that. Adam, can you pull up Tornado Souls by Megadeth? Yeah, the opening riff is just it brutalized me when I was a kid. I was like, what the fuck is this that I'm listening to? And then that solo, dude, it is just Marty Friedman doesn't get enough recognition either as such an amazing metal guitar player. He truly doesn't.
That's true.
Is he still in Megadeth?
No.
They've had
is he in
changes made.
Is he in Priest?
I don't know that he's still in the band or not. I don't think so.
Is he in Priest?
No.
I don't know.
I'm going to Google it real quick.
Yeah, Google it real quick. And when you're doing that, I'll give my number. Here it is. You play a little bit of that, Adam. I'm going to go see them. Back when we go see them in September. The opening for Maiden.
Mike,
It's a nice riff.
you'd like it.
I like it so far. Is that really the vocal?
Yeah.
That vocal is horrible. It sounds like it's on 78, right? Yeah.
That song.
Wow, they can just get us singing. The band was good. Is that Dave Mustaine singing it?
That's Dave Mustaine singing. You gotta remember, this is probably 86.
Wow.
87 maybe?
He sucks every year. Every decade he's horrible.
Actually, it was 1990 that came out. September of 1990. All right. We can cut the music.
Yeah, I'm telling you, when they come on, I'm probably going to go to the concession stand and buy a Maiden t-shirt.
Yeah, I will be walking around during Megadeth, I think, too. Oh, I will be watching Anthrax because Anthrax's new single is fucking amazing. And I can't wait for the new record. But
Are you guys going to that show?
Yeah, we're going to that.
man, I wish I was.
Get a ticket.
I think you know what, Tim, I may have an extra ticket because I think I may be going Saturday and Sunday. We're going Sunday, Sean.
Yeah.
Keep me in mind.
Yeah.
I've seen Maiden probably
I will.
15 times. Probably. The first time I saw him was in '87.
Wow.
Maiden by far right now is my favorite band.
Somewhere in time.
All right, but believe it or not, I don't have a Maiden song on this list, but I do have a song by Led Zeppelin. I'm going to go with "Stairway to Heaven," and to me, it's that best song. That and "Cashmere," but I just think the lead in "Stairway to Heaven" played on a 19. I don't get the years. I don't understand. I always thought a guitar was a guitar, but it was played on a 1959 Fender Stratocaster. And which is not really normal for Jimmy Page, since he usually played on a Gibson Les Paul.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. And the reason why he played that Telecaster, because it was a gift from his childhood friend. Anybody know who his childhood friend was?
Oh, I didn't know this.
They were in a band together. Jeff Beck. Right. Since they were teenage boys, they were in a band together, and they went to high school together, and they played guitar together. And then they basically, when Jimmy Page joins the Yardbirds, he joins as the bass player.
Mm-hmm.
And Beck he was kind of like a diva as he started getting a reputation. He kind of like was a little erratic, and he took a leave of absence from the Yardbirds. Page jumps in, becomes a guitar player. They're like, holy shit, we can do without Beck's drama. And Beck winds up leaving the band. And that kind of led to a split between Jimmy Page and Beck. They weren't enemies, but they weren't as close friends up until that point. But the thing is, when they recorded Stairway to Heaven, they recorded the lead 3 different times because that music wasn't written out. It was all improvised. So, I thought that was interesting. But I mean, to me, that lead, I don't know how many times I've heard this song and that guitar lead and other guitar players doing, and it never gets old. It's always, always good to me. So I have to go with "Stairway to Heaven." I mean, I know that's not like really like recreating the Atom or anything, but still.
Sometimes you have to talk about it, even though it's like the obvious.
Yeah. You know what? I got one more, and it's going to be hard for me to pick. And I'm going to go something. Shit. You know what? I'll put this down there, and then if I have time at the end, I'll add 1 or 2 more. But for my last pick, I'm going to go with. Are you guys familiar with Robert Cray?
Oh yeah, I love Robert Cray. I
think Robert Cray is vastly, vastly underrated.
Sure.
To me, he's amazing. In 1986, he had a song called "Right Next Door," and it's such. I listened to the song over. It's a great bluesy song. The lead in the song is very crisp. It has a very cool sound. Robert Cray is influenced by blues legend Albert Collins.
Yeah.
He plays the song just like it's almost like a finger picking style, but with heavier guitar strings to make that sound. And if you listen to the lead, you'll know what I'm talking about immediately. The sound he makes out of the guitar is different than the one Knopfler makes. Knopfler seems lighter. This guy seems a little heavier, and it's because of the guitar strings. Sean, if you're not familiar with Robert Cray, Right Next Door, Strong Persuader, check out the song.
I'll check it out later. Yeah, I'll check it out later. But yes, you are right, though. If he's playing heavier gauge strings, not bigger. Yeah, heavier gauge strings.
I'm not a guitar player, stupid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of guitar players, I want to bring up my favorite guitar player of all time. Not my favorite song of theirs, but I am going with "Domination" by Pantera.
Oh, Domination.
That to me is his quintessential solo, even though he's had, I could put 8 other songs on this list by them, but I think this is his quintessential solo, and the way the solo ends with this high pitched squeal and then just breaks down into this ridiculously chunky riff that would just open up pits every fucking time when that riff happened. to me, that is by far his best solo.
Are you a fan of Ted Nugent,
Yeah,
Sean?
of course.
Do you know the controversy between Ted Nugent and Dimebag?
I don't read the trades, Jeff.
No. Well, what happened was, Pantera did a version of
Cat Scratch
Fever, and it was after he died when Nugent criticized that version.
Well, he's an asshole.
Nugent does it all the time. He criticizes the version.
And it really turned off a lot of Pantera fans.
Oh, sure, I would imagine. I mean, he's fucking god to the heavy metal world. You know what I mean?
And the thing is, musically, I love Ted Nugent. He has so many great songs. I've seen him a couple of times in concert. He's a fun act. And growing up, I really was a fan. But it's just like the guy died. He's a guitar legend. He's a great. Why you got to say? Hold it. If you weren't hold it, you don't have to verbalize everything.
Yeah,
right.
But all right, Tim. You got one or two more. You could go to whatever you want.
Two more. All right.
Get two more.
Tough one. Two more. All right. So I'm going to go another one of my top 5 guys. I'm going to go Stevie Ray. And I'm going to go Pride and Joy with Stevie Ray. Just a blistering guitar solo. And I love the shuffle that, the song is a shuffle. And I just love the whole feel of that song. But then, man, when he tears off in that solo and the end solo too, the outro, man, oh man, just killer.
I had Stevie Ray as my honorable mention for Voodoo Child.
There you go.
That's a good one too.
Same thing. His version of Voodoo Child gives me the chills. It's incredible. But I went with Pride and Joy because both solos in that song would just blow me away.
We actually mentioned that song. We did an episode a couple weeks ago where it was cover songs that are better than the originals.
So where do you put Stevie Ray in the hierarchy of guitar players? Is he top 10, top 20?
For me, he's top 10 without question. And I think had he not died, I think he would have had. He'd probably go top 5 of all time. I think he cut way too short.
For me,
going back to what we were talking about before, Kurt Cobain was always over Stevie Ray Vaughan, which I could never understand.
Yeah, for me, he's top 5. Okay, he's definitely. He was a huge and still is a huge influence. I mean, I love the blues, but I get those lists are all subjective. It's like comedy, right? Like, who'd you think was so funny? Is everyone? It's just all subjective.
It's never Jeff. They never say Jeff.
I think he's such a fucking hack. This guy. I think a lot of those, especially the Rolling Stone list, are really used for clickbait, rage bait.
Yeah,
right.
Because they'll just put some like the sister Rosa Tharpe is in the top 5. I'm sure she's a fine player,
right?
But come on, man, you're putting her over Eddie Van Halen. Stop it.
If you ever hear something like Stevie's Riviera Paradise on his last record, it's just instrumental and it's absolutely incredible. There's actually a cool story. Can I tell it real quick?
You can tell anything you want.
So when they were recording Riviera Paradise, he goes into the studio, right, and he dims the lights, and it's him and Double Trouble, right, and they're playing. And now this is the days of tape. This is not digital, right? So the sound man's just sitting there and he's smoking and whatever, and they're in the groove, right? And the song's like 9 minutes or something, 8 or 9 minutes, a long instrumental. Well, the guy looks at the tape and sees that the tape's about to run out. So he's like, "Oh shit! And this is like an incredible take." So he jumps up and he starts waving to the band from the control room. He's trying to get their attention, and Stevie's got his back to him, and the lights are real dim. So finally, at the last second, Chris Layton, the drummer, sees him, and they wind it up. They wind the song up, and they end. And the guy said, as the last note was drifting off, all you heard was the tape came out.
Oh, shit.
They got it. The tape, but
end it right before the tape runs out.
It ended right before the tape came. They ended it, the note drifted off, and then the tape just flew out.
Was that the take they used on the album?
Yeah, that's the take, yep.
Wow. That's pretty cool. All right, there, Sean. You got something else? Actually, you got another one you want to add?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with another favorite of mine, Brian Setzer from the Stray Cats.
I'm so glad you added that.
Pick.
Yeah, I wanted to put the Stray Cat. I couldn't do it, but I love that guy. Where'd you pick?
I picked Rumble in Brighton because I think it's just the most incredible guitar solo. That thing fires me up to this day. Rumble in Brighton off the, I think it's built for Speed record, which is the first album I ever bought in my life with my own money, 1982. And it's just a great rockabilly guitar solo. It's incredible. I mean, the guy is just blistering on that. But, I mean, you could pick so many. Brian Setzer.
I think you're going to go Jump, Jive, and Wail.
That's good, too. You know.
Yeah, no, I love the Stray Cats.
I think I want to end my portion of the list with the first guitar solo I fell in love with. It was like, I think I was probably 13, which goes back to the Billy Vera thing, right? But this was the first song that I said, holy shit. Like, I was blown away by this guitar solo. It became probably one of my top 5 favorite songs of all time that I play every single day is Cult of Personality by Living Colour.
That's a great one.
Underrated guitar player. Vernon Reid.
Underrated guitar player. I just got to see him and Corey Glover do the Corey Glover Soul Experience over at the Crossroads in Garwood. The first set was a complete soul set. The second set was acoustic with Vernon and Corey. And then the third set was Soul Experience with Vernon. Best part about the whole night, they did not play Cult of Personality.
Oh, wow.
I was very happy that they didn't do it because I didn't want to hear an acoustic version of it.
Yeah, that's kind of tough.
You know what I mean?
That's a heavy song.
They did do Glamour Boys acoustic.
Dustin Chafin hates that song.
I do too. Type?
No, it's on the first record.
It's on the first one.
The song Type?
Oh, Type.
Great, yeah. That's on the first one too.
They didn't play that. They did they did a lot of like old school Motown and soul stuff like Hold On, I'm Coming, Papa Was Rolling Stone, stuff like that. Only a few just a couple handful of Living Colour songs, a lot of Corey solo stuff, but let me tell you, man, he is truly one of the most underrated guitar players. And like I watch his hands and I don't even know what notes he's playing at some points because his hands are just flying so goddamn fast. But it just sounds perfect every single time I hear that song.
Can I give
and more important, Staten Island guy.
Yeah.
Can I give an honorable mention?
Yeah,
of course.
I'm going to pick one of my favorite guitar solos of all time. Was Eddie Van Halen solo in Beat It.
That's
an amazing solo.
And everyone knows the story on that.
One of my
does it in one take.
Eddie's guitar solos. One of my favorite guitar solos from Eddie.
Oh, fantastic! And you know what happened with that? Van Halen was always they never did outside projects.
Yeah, they were.
He gets a phone call from Quincy Jones. The band is on hiatus. He's like, okay, who's going to know this record anyway?
Yep.
Remember, it's off a Thriller. Michael Jackson was not Michael Jackson. Yeah, he had a name, but it wasn't. He was just like he was a pop artist. He was like, who's going to really know? He listens and goes, yeah, you mind if I change a couple of things around? Does it, goes in, does it one take, walks out. It led to a little rift in the band, between him and his brother. They didn't talk for a little bit.
He wanted no money for it, which he could have got paid, millions for it. Also, Michael Jackson was number one, and Van Halen was number 2 that year.
That's right.
And the thing that
Beat It kept jump from being a number 1 song.
Right. The thing that kept Van Halen out was Beat It.
That's 100% right. I got
one thing I want to ask Tim. What do you think of the new unreleased Van Halen stuff that the Steve Lukather is working on trying to finish and put out?
Personally, I wish they would leave it as instrumental. I heard they're looking for singers and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know how that'll go with a new singer. Like, who cares about a singer? Like, I would just rather hear the music and what they did. But
I think there's only one person who should ever be the singer for that band, and that's Wolfie.
I mean, possibly.
It's not a bad pick.
Have Wolfie play all the bass parts and sing. I think that's a beautiful bookend to it.
If it's going to be Van Halen, why can't Michael Anthony play on it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to hear it. I really am. But, that band is probably the most dysfunctional band in rock. Oh. So, I mean, Mike should play on it, but he probably won't. And, But I'm anxious to hear it. I'll take anything from Eddie. I mean, I don't have him anymore, and he was my number one since I was 13. So, I never cried at all from any celebrity dying except for him. I cried that day.
There's got to be literally hundreds of hours of tapes that still have not been released.
Yeah.
Because if you read the book Brothers,
yep,
that's all. It sounds like that's all they did: hung out, smoked cigarettes, drank beer, and played music and recorded.
And 5150's got a vault of all that stuff.
Exactly. I would love to hear some of the stuff. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with a little bit older stuff. I'm going to go with two records from 1971. I don't know if you're familiar with 10 Years After, there's a song called I'd Love to Change the World. The guitar player is Alvin Lee, who you probably know. Yeah, you probably know from I'm Going Home. And he had a classic set at Woodstock.
Yeah.
But in 1971, he plays this beautiful melodic lead in a song called I Want to Change the World. The thing is, Lee didn't like the song because it became so popular. He refused to play it live with it. He never played it with 10 Years After live. They recorded the song. The song becomes a big hit. He's like, no, I'm not doing this. One more for me would be a band that kind of gets mocked, not their fault, is Jethro Tull. In 1971, Morton Barry did a great lead on the song Aqualung. You guys are familiar with that, right?
Yeah.
Now, the funny thing with that is in 71, Tull isn't the big band they turned out to be in the 70s and early 80s. They're in the studio, and studio time is expensive. And Ian Anderson's like, hey, look, you got two chances to do this. If not, that lead's becoming a flute solo. And he nails it on the second take, and that's the one that's used on the record. Now, if you ever hear the lead, it's sprawling, it's long, it's melodic, it's beautiful, and that's what they wound up using. And to me, I think it's really iconic. It really brings the whole song home. I think it's the best part of the song.
Can I throw another one out? I could talk about this shit all night. I mean,
exactly. I knew you were perfect for this.
Come and Hitch a Ride from Boston.
See, that's another guitar player, man, who doesn't get love. Oh my God, Tom Schultz. Insane.
That guitar solo is absolutely incredible.
I mean, that one, the guitar lead up in Long Time is great.
Smoked.
Yeah, the riff in Don't Look Back. And then he invented, are you familiar with the piece of equipment he invented for the guitar, Tim?
Yeah, it was called the Rockman. And the reason I know
that's right.
I played in the band, I played drums, and the guitar player had that pedal. And the only reason I didn't like it is because we sounded like Boston, and I didn't want to.
Another band that I think Sean and I have to crusade to get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Boston?
I think they're a no-brainer.
Their first album, listen to their first, every song's a hit. Every song has been played.
Yeah, I agree with that. The first album is phenomenal.
If you had to compare the first album of Boston, because we're going to do albums out of hits, first Boston album compared to the first Cars album, what are you picking?
I go with the Cars.
I'm going Boston, I think.
See, that is always the consensus. This has been up for debate because they're both bands from Boston, and they both have their debut album in the same year. And then both debut albums are basically...
Cars came out in 78, I think.
They did. And Boston came out in 76. I'm wrong about that.
Yeah, 76.
You're right. That's right.
Now,
but they're both first albums are basically greatest hits albums.
Boston's was the highest selling debut record of all time until Appetite. And then Appetite beat it.
Another amazing debut album. I think 78 is probably the best year of rock music. We've had this album before.
Dire Straits, Van Halen 1, the Cars, the list is unbelievable.
Exactly. Yes, this guy gets it.
He gets it.
It's good, this Tim Grill. He knows a thing or two about a thing or two. Yeah. Did the Police come out that year too?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
This is why I failed high school, because this is what I was into.
Exactly. I think I've told this story before. I remember I was a massive Black Sabbath fan. And I was dating this girl, and I used to buy like Hit Parader and Cream. Remember those?
Oh yeah, we used to.
Okay. And it had the article about how Sabbath is leaving, and this new guy Dio, Ronnie James Dio, is taking over. And I remember being at a party, and I was all depressed. I used to wear a jacket with a Black Sabbath cross on the back of it. I mean, I was just so infatuated with Sabbath. And I'm at this party, and I'm just like talking about Black Sabbath, and I'm dating this girl, and she's like, "What's wrong with you? Like, why do you always talk about this?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know who this new guy is. I don't know what Sabbath is going to be. What's going to happen to Ozzy?"
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it me? Is it me?
Tim, I've heard that story more than you've heard Jimmy Graham's shitty jokes.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. So how many times have you worked with Jimmy?
I haven't worked with him in probably 5-6 years now. But, yeah, we did work with each other for a long time.
Right. There you go. That's how many times I've heard that story.
Yeah.
With Jimmy Graham needs to post
Jimmy.
his feelings more on social media.
Yeah.
I don't think he does that enough.
We haven't worked together in a long, long time. Kind of went.
Point taken.
He's got his views. I got mine.
Exactly. All right. This was good, Jeff. This was good.
I told Tim we'd get him out of here by 9 o'clock because I know he spends a little time with his boy. So is Wyatt with you?
No, actually, my son went back to his mom tonight because they're going on vacation tomorrow. So I got all night, guys. I can talk guitar all night.
I'm glad you brought up Boston because I again a band of, oh, you know what? This is how we'll end this. I don't know if you guys heard this or read this story, but do you know this new kind of fad that's going on at concerts?
What?
That especially festivals.
The blue dot thing?
What's that?
The blue dot thing? Is that what you're talking
No.
about?
We talked about that. Blue dot. The blue dot thing is seats that aren't being sold.
Yeah.
But this is okay. But this is what's happening at concerts. This is what male concert goers are doing, and it was basically inspired by Richard Christie, who was on the Howard Stern show. Guys are showing up at concerts wearing Depends. Depends underwear.
They don't have to pee?
And what's that again?
So they don't have to pee?
Well, Richard Christie's theory is you could have 3 P's before you have to kind of like change the Depends. So you can sit there and just drink beer and just hang out and then just pee where you are before you have to change. But guys aren't doing that only. They're shitting in the Depends, which I don't think it's really made for. And this was brought up in an interview with, I think the girl's name is Olivia Rodrigo.
Yep.
And she was saying the smell that's coming from the audience is disgusting because people are shitting in their Depends, and the smell is wafting up onto the stage.
Ugh.
Have you heard any of this?
I'm getting to the age where I might have to do that anyway, but I never heard it. I've never heard that.
That's disgusting.
You know what we used to do? And maybe I'll do this with you when I'm at the Maiden concert. If it was a really good song, that was the time you go pee. So you would have your cup, right? And while say it was Sabbath and they're playing Paranoid and everyone's focused on the stage, you would whip it out, pee into your cup, and then take the cup and put it in the seat in front of you.
Well, that's why Tommy Lee made the drum solos what he made them, because he tells the story about he was seeing I forget, Tommy Aldridge was the drummer, and he was young, and Tommy Aldridge is doing this guitar or this drum solo, and he's just killing it, and everybody's leaving, and Tommy Lee was like, "What? This guy's incredible." So he decided when they started playing arenas that he was going to start showing the people what he's doing. So that's why he went up 90 degrees, then he went all around and stuff like that. He became part of the show. He became part. People were going to see Motley Crue just for the drummer.
Yeah, was that Carnival of Sins tour?
Well, I mean, it started in Theater of Pain in '85 with the 90 degree, and then Girls in '87. He did the whole roller coaster thing. And then he just went from there.
Now, speaking of the Blue Dots fever, Motley Crue is experiencing a little bit of that, which I'm shocked about.
Oh,
that's
you can
a great
get tickets dirt cheap for that show.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah.
I'm going to that. I'm going to that with my buddy. But the only reason I'm going to that, well, don't get me wrong, I like Motley Crue. I always have. But they should.
You're going for Extreme.
They should have retired years ago. Yes, I'm going to see Nuno because I freaking love Nuno Betancourt. Oh,
My top 5.
Get the Funk Out. I could say that as a guitarist. Get the Funk Out from Extreme. Unbelievable guitar solo.
That whole Porno Graffiti record, to me, top to bottom, is one of the best records I've ever owned.
It's incredible.
Yeah, and the middle band in that is pretty good too. Is Tesla.
So
and they're amazing live. I saw them a couple of years ago. They blew me away.
Now, if you go see them, they're playing a bunch of covers.
Really?
Yeah, they have a new album out. Them and Keith Urban have albums out of basically yacht rock songs.
Oh wow!
And their take on it, it's really good stuff. I've heard both.
But Motley should have retired years and years ago.
I like John Five as a guitar player, but he's not Mick Mars. I'm sorry.
He's not, and he's a fantastic guitar player. But here's the thing: like they have no plans of putting new music out, so they're just going to play. Like, how many times can you go to see them in concert and hear them play? Smoking in the Boys Room. Like, there's no new music coming out. Like, how long can they last like that?
Well, isn't that the argument with Guns N' Roses too? They don't have an extensive catalog.
No, when you look at Guns N' Roses, they really have 20 good songs.
Right.
And so they play a lot of covers now.
What's that?
Yeah. There was something I was stupid showing you. I had to throw me off. There was I can't believe I've been doing this. This is our 201 episode, Tim. Can you believe that?
Wow, that's cool.
Can you believe me and Sean have been doing this for over 200 episodes now? And
is it all music or just everything?
Well, it's supposed to be music. We do talk a lot of music.
This is the first music one we've had in like a year and a half.
Oh, okay.
That's not true, but I mean, there have been times where we have gotten off the track. Depends on who the guest is. We have gotten and have not talked. We've talked cooking at this show. We have talked politics. We have talked a lot of sports. But there are also times when we've had great musical guests. We had Bruce Kulick from Kiss.
Oh, wow.
We had Billy Sheehan from Mr. Big. We've had a bunch of guys that we've really been able to talk. Sean referenced something earlier in the episode tonight where he said, Sean, tell him the Billy Vera theory.
The Billy Vera theory, when we interviewed him, was that...
You know who Billy Vera is,
Yeah,
Tim?
of the Beaters.
Okay.
Yeah, so we interviewed him, and he said the music that you listen to at your 13 is the music that you'll listen to for the rest of your life.
I agree with that.
It's so true.
It's so true.
I totally agree with that. I'm still listening to all that stuff that I grew up with, and it brings me back to like these magical days of being in a garage band and thinking we're going to make it, and waiting in line for concert tickets in the middle of the winter time with all your heavy metal, brothers and sisters all hanging out with, I believe it. I believe it. Not that there's not any good music coming out. Like, I just listened to a new Stones record and it's great. It's a great record. But, I still listen to my early Iron Maiden, early Van Halen.
It's Kiss. It's Black Sabbath. For me, it's Rush. In fact, I'm going at the end of the month with my high school friends, the guys I used to fight with. We used to wrestle to Rush. We're going to see Rush. We went a couple of years ago to see Zebra. Like, this was the music that we listened to in junior high school and high school.
I saw Rush in 95, I think. I think it was 95.
Are you a fan?
Yeah, I am. Alex Lifeson is another underrated guitar player. That guy is unbelievable.
I would say the lead in Limelight's a great lead.
Yeah.
Yep. Right. I'm going to piss my pants if we don't end this show right now. I'm just letting you know.
All right, listen. The risk of that Sean's wife isn't going to have to go downstairs and clean up his mess.
Go ahead.
This was actually a lot of fun tonight.
This was a great episode, and you know why? Because the hour went by so fast.
And we actually talked about music for the whole thing.
Which was great, especially with a guy who knows what he's talking about.
Right, that also helps a lot.
This was
Yeah.
cool.
You definitely know your stuff, Tim. Hey, where can people find you and what you got coming up?
TimGrillComedy.com is my website, and then I'm on Facebook and Instagram. That's it. I'm not really on a lot of things. And I'm playing a Wave Resort next weekend, next Saturday in Long Branch.
Oh, you have so much faith that Adam's going to put this out in a week.
All right. Well, then I'm playing.
What gigs do you have in December?
Yeah, I'm playing in November.
Well, listen, guys, please follow Tim Grill. Not only is he a good guy, but he's also a really good comic. You're going to enjoy him.
Yes, he is.
Go up and say hello. Do you sell T-shirts at your shows?
No. I
You
used
should sell some T-shirts.
sometimes, but
Yeah, let people buy a T-shirt off you. All right, and we will catch you next time.
Yeah.
Anything you want to hear, anything you need us to cover, put it in the comments. Subscribe as usual. And once again, thank you guys so much for listening. Take care, everybody.